Hey there, curious kids. It's Andy here, and welcome to another mind-blowing episode of the Curious Kidcast, where we answer the questions that make your brain go, "Whoa!" Today, we're diving into something that's both super cool and super scary to think about. What would happen if Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Don't worry, though. This is just a thought experiment. Earth isn't actually going to stop spinning. Your parents didn't have to pay extra for the Keep Spinning feature, I checked. So first things first, how fast is Earth actually spinning? Well, it's way faster than you might think. We don't really feel it because everything around us is moving at the same speed. It's like when you're on an airplane. You don't feel like you're zooming through the sky until you hit some bumpy air. Earth makes one complete rotation every 24 hours, which is why we have day and night. But to do that, the middle part of Earth, the equator, has to move at about 1,670 kilometers per hour. That's faster than most airplanes. It's like we're all on a giant, never-ending carnival ride. And that brings us to our big question. What would happen if all that spinning suddenly stopped? Like if someone hit a giant pause button on Earth? Well, have you ever been on one of those spinning carnival rides that suddenly stops? What happens to everyone? They keep moving in the direction they were going. Physics is sneaky like that. So basically, everything on Earth that isn't bolted down would just keep moving eastward at over 1,000 kilometers per hour. Houses, trees, cars, your pet hamster, your homework. Although maybe that last one wouldn't be so bad. They'd all just go, whoosh! It would be total chaos, like when my little brother discovers the cookie jar. And it's not just stuff on land that would be affected. Think about the oceans. All that water would keep moving too. It would be like if you were carrying a full bathtub and suddenly stopped walking. Splash! The water would create massive tsunamis. Waves bigger than any you've ever seen or even imagined. I'm talking waves that would make surfers say, maybe not today. The sudden stop wouldn't just cause things to go flying and create giant waves. It would also make Earth itself shake like crazy. We're talking mega earthquakes that would make your school's fire drill seem like nap time. The force of everything suddenly stopping would send shockwaves through the entire planet, causing massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So we've got flying objects, tsunamis, and earthquakes. Sounds like a disaster movie marathon, right? But wait, there's more! One of the most obvious changes would be to our days and nights. Since Earth's spinning is what causes day and night, if it stopped spinning, one side would always face the sun, and the other side would always be in darkness. Can you imagine? One side of Earth would be having a never-ending summer barbecue, while the other side would be stuck in a permanent snow day. The sunny side would get incredibly hot. Like, my ice cream melted before I even paid for it hot, and the dark side would get incredibly cold. Like, my words freeze in the air when I talk cold. This would be bad news for plants and animals too. Plants need sunlight to grow, but they also need darkness to rest. It's like how you need both playtime and bedtime. Without the regular cycle of day and night, plants and animals would have a really hard time surviving. Even my cactus that survived 3 weeks, when I forgot to water it, wouldn't make it. Here's something that might surprise you. Earth isn't perfectly round. Because it's spinning, it actually bulges out a little bit at the equator. It's kind of shaped like a slightly squashed ball. This happens because of something called centrifugal force. It's the same force that makes you feel like you're being pushed outward when you spin around really fast. As Earth spins, this force pushes outward on the equator, making it slightly wider than at the poles. So if Earth stops spinning without that centrifugal force, gravity would take over and Earth would slowly start to become more spherical. It would try to reshape itself into a perfect ball. And that reshaping would cause even more problems. Imagine all the land and water on Earth shifting around as the planet tries to change its shape. It would cause even more earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and massive changes to the landscape. It's like when you try to fix your bed in the morning but somehow make it messier. Now let's talk about weather. Earth's rotation plays a big role in creating weather patterns. The spinning creates something called the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect is like an invisible force that makes winds and ocean currents curve because different parts of Earth are moving at different speeds. It's like trying to draw a straight line on a spinning paper. The line ends up curved. If Earth stopped spinning, The Coriolis effect would disappear. That means winds wouldn't blow in their usual patterns anymore. No more trade winds or jet streams. This would have a huge impact on weather. Storms would become much weaker or behave in unpredictable ways. Hurricanes and tornadoes rely on the Coriolis effect to spin. Without it, they might just fizzle out or move in strange directions. It would be like the weather decided to play opposite day forever. Ocean currents would also be disrupted. These giant underwater rivers help regulate Earth's temperature by moving warm water from the tropics to the poles and cold water from the poles to the tropics. They're like Earth's built-in thermostat. Without these currents, the temperature difference between the equator and the poles would become much more extreme. Some parts of Earth would get even hotter, and other parts would get even colder. And that would have a big impact on marine life too. The fish would be very confused. Hey, who turned up the heat in here? Or brr, who left the freezer door open? Last but definitely not least, let's talk about Earth's magnetic field. This is super important. The magnetic field acts like a giant shield protecting us from harmful radiation from the sun. It's like Earth's personal force field or sunscreen. Earth's magnetic field is generated by the movement of molten iron in Earth's core, and the rotation helps keep that molten iron moving. So if Earth stops spinning, we might lose our magnetic field. Without this protective shield, we would be exposed to a lot more radiation from the sun. This could damage our DNA and disrupt our communication systems. It's like taking the roof off your house during a rainstorm. Everything inside gets wet. Okay, let's recap what we've learned today. If Earth suddenly stopped spinning, 1. Everything not bolted down would go flying eastward super fast. 2. Massive tsunamis would sweep across the land. 3. We'd have mega earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. 4. Day and night would be permanently messed up. 5. Earth would try to reshape itself, causing even more chaos. 6. Our weather would go completely bonkers. 7. And we might lose our protective magnetic field. Pretty wild to think about, right? But the good news is that Earth is going to keep on spinning for billions of years. Phew! That's like longer than even the longest math class has ever felt. Now it's time for our Curious Kid quiz. Get ready to test your spinning knowledge. I'll ask you a question and you have 5 seconds to answer. Okay, here we go. Question 1. How fast does the Earth's equator move as our planet spins? Is it A, 67 kilometers per hour, B, 670 kilometers per hour, or C, 6,700 kilometers per hour? The answer is B. The Earth's equator moves at about 670 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a race car. Question 2. What would happen to the oceans if Earth suddenly stopped spinning? The water would keep moving and create massive tsunamis, causing giant waves to sweep across the land. Definitely not a good day for a beach picnic. Question 3. What shape is the Earth currently because of its rotation? Earth is actually slightly bulged at the equator and flattened at the poles, kind of like a slightly squashed ball. It's not perfectly round because of the centrifugal force created by spinning. All right, curious kids, that's our mind-bending journey into what would happen if Earth stopped spinning. I hope you learned something new and had some fun along the way. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe. Got a question you'd like answered on a future episode? Drop me an email at questions@curiouskidcast.com or visit our website at www.curiouskidcast.com. Remember, even though we talked about some pretty wild scenarios today, it's all just a thought experiment. Earth is going to keep on spinning and we're all going to be just fine, unless someone finds that giant pause button. Just kidding. Keep on asking those curious questions and exploring the amazing world around you. Until next time, stay curious and keep on spinning.